Hello, 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 my lovelies. So there's no live shows this week. It's technically supposed to be a vacation for yours truly. But, of course, that doesn't mean you're gonna be able to get me to shut the fuck up. News has been pouring in all day, and I already have so many things that I want to talk to you about. And the thought of waiting a week is driving me absolutely crazy. So, here I am, recording a video for you that, as a YouTube commenter pointed out the last time I did something like this, they said, it's like Kyle's talking from 2005. That is correct. That is the style of video that I'm currently doing. But here's a piece of news that I just couldn't wait to share with you because it's incredibly important. I'm sure most of you have heard it by now, but Bernie Sanders' Medicare for All bill, which is technically being announced, I believe, tomorrow. So this is being recorded on Monday. No, wait, what day is today? You see what happens when you take a few days off? All of a sudden, you lose track of everything. But I think it's technically being announced either tomorrow or Wednesday. Yeah, today's Monday. So I think it's being announced on Wednesday. But now we have 9 new co-sponsors. So on the screen here's a tweet from Roseanne DeMoro, who, by the way, is absolutely fantastic. She's the head of National Nurses United, which is the nurses union. And she is a superb activist. And she's really worked hard for the single-payer bill in California, for example, and she's still pushing behind the scenes. Well, actually, not even behind the scenes, in front of the scenes to try to get scumbags like Anthony Rendon on board. And Anthony Rendon's, of course, the guy who killed single-payer in California. But Roseanne DeMoro is really working hard to get real populist left people elected. We've teamed up with her with Justice Democrats, for example, in brand new Congress. She's working with us on the People's Platform and a bunch of other stuff. But this is her tweet here, and it shows the different co-sponsors. We have Brian Schatz, who has one of the most unfortunate last names in human history. But he is correct on healthcare. He just came around to Medicare for All. Ed Markey, Kirsten Gillibrand, Patrick Leahy, Sheldon Whitehouse, Jeff Merkley, Cory Booker, Elizabeth Warren, and then, of course, we recently discussed Kamala Harris. Elizabeth Warren, she has been, for it for a while, but now that Bernie's actually reintroducing the bill, she's signing on to it. Let's jump right into the craziest one here. Cory fucking Booker. Cory Booker. Okay, you know what this means? This means we are crushing the corporate Democrats under our boot. That's what it means. It means all of your hard work, all the hard work of the activists and the people who really care around this country, who have been mobilizing and organizing and protesting and marching and being loud and aggressive. It means they are now recognizing the likes of Kamala Harris, Cory Booker, Kirsten Gillibrand. Okay, these are people who, they're corporate Democrats. They are 100%, undoubtedly, corporate Democrats. But we've been so persistent now in saying, hey, guess what? This one's not negotiable. That they have made the political calculation. My chances of becoming president, my chances of getting the Democratic nomination would effectively be 0 if I don't come out for Medicare for All. So that's a victory. That is a gigantic victory. Because they're going to downplay you at first, and then when they can't downplay you, they'll demonize you, and then when they can't demonize you anymore, they hop on board. Now, we need to keep it in perspective, because like I said, they're 100% doing it for non-pure motives, to say the least, for self-serving motives. But at the end of the day, as long as they vote the right way, then we win. Because policy is really all that matters. Now, that doesn't mean we go soft on the likes of Cory Booker, and that doesn't mean that Cory Booker is now all of a sudden good. But it means we take our victories when we can get them. And we're still going to primary the fuck out of all of the corporate Democrats. Don't get it twisted. They're getting primaried because we can't trust them. We have to fight them tooth and nail to get them to do the right thing. We want people in there who are allies and who we don't even necessarily have to fight, who we know are fighting for us every single day. But that being said, this is undoubtedly a gigantic victory. It means we're winning in the realm of ideas. It means that Democrats are starting to notice, hey, we will get destroyed if we don't hop on board here. And that is exactly what we want. Now, again, at the end of the day, we have to make sure that when it's time to vote, they're there. Because right now, there's little consequences. So they can say, oh, I support it, but in the back of their mind, they might be thinking, yeah, you know what, if we get a supermajority and I can actually affect policy, then will I try to wiggle out of it? So we need to make sure we hold their feet to the fire and hold them accountable and make sure that they do the right thing every step of the way. Because there's no way you should trust corporate Democrats like Cory Booker. But again, today is a very, very, very big day because what this shows is the snowball effect. And what this shows is the momentum of our ideas. And a lot of this, of course, is credited to Bernie Sanders because Bernie Sanders raised awareness about this issue. And then you had a lot of grassroots activists work really hard because they believed in the vision that Bernie Sanders was talking about. And it's going to happen on this issue. It's going to happen on a living wage. It's going to happen on free college. It's going to happen on ending the wars. It's going to happen on ending the drug war. It's going to happen on clean elections because people either already agree with us or if they heard the case made aggressively and effectively and logically would agree with us. And when you have the power of the people on your side, eventually you win. I mean, all the big fights throughout U.S. history, civil rights, desegregation, women's suffrage, I mean, these are things where everybody said there's no way it's ever going to happen, and then when it did happen, everybody went, oh, of course that was going to happen, that was inevitable. No, it wasn't. You had to work really hard, and it's the hard work of the grassroots activists, it's the hard work of people like Bernie Sanders who raised awareness on this issue that took it from an issue where maybe 47, 48% of the American people were in favor of it if they knew what the fuck it was, to now 61% of the American people are for Medicare for all. And people who want to run as Democrats know this is a litmus test. And whenever anybody tries to use that against you, like, oh, we're going to have like a litmus test, like a purity test, here's what you say. Fuck yes. The idea that that's like just inherently negative, like, oh, you actually believe in something? Like you have principles? You go, yes, I do, you moron. You don't. And Medicare for All should absolutely be one of those things. And now we've even beaten the likes of Cory Booker and Kamala Harris and Kirsten Gillibrand and Patrick Leahy and people like that. They said, that's it. No more. I've had it. You've beaten me into submission. And now I have bent to your will. You're damn right you have. And you're going to continue to do it because when activists fight and when the people mobilize, we win. So you have to keep your eye on the corporate Democrats and make sure they do the right thing. You never let your guard down around the corporate Democrats. But today is unquestionably a huge day because it shows the trends and the tides of history, and it is 100% in our direction.